Yo! Guess what? Turns out the Sonic Miniseries isn't best experienced in a one video format. Because of this, I'm condensing my analysis of both number 2 and 3 into this one video for the sake of efficiency. All the best comic reviewers do it. And I think people would rather see the actual mainline Sonic issues by Archie Comics, so all the more better we get to that point. Buckle up, boys and girls and everyone in between. We're taking a gander at the last 2 issues of the original Sonic Miniseries. I'm not gonna lie, issue number 2's cover is a bit of a step down from the last ones. Or earlier we were graced with a pic of Hedgehog and Robotnik action, and the last one had Sun and Sal with a highly detailed big bad looming over them. Here it's just, oh no, look out for that bullet. The background doesn't help either. It sort of hurts my eyes a little bit, so let's move on. Number 2 starts with our good Princess Sally announcing Sonic's name, with the Hedgehog deciding to zip past before she can even say it. All in good fun in showcasing Sonic's speed, but she clearly just said your name, you lying frickin' donkey. After a bit of mildly romantic banter, Sally entrusts our hero with a box which contains her father's possessions. It contains the magic crown of the Acorn Kings. Being a memento of her missing dad, Sally thinks that if she wears it, they could use its magic to locate him or defeat Robotnik. It also has these 4 Freedom Emeralds on it, which is odd because 1, these are clearly bounty balls from Tesco's, and 2, they don't make an appearance on the crown in later issues, so they're pretty superfluous. Speaking of things being retconned out, check out Antoine's Royal Guard, a bunch of Mobians wearing the same uniform as him that appear in this one story alone and serve as suspects in a Who Stole the Freedom Emeralds plot point. Sonic uses his signature speed to cause the sprinkler system to kick in and weed out the traitor, who turns out to be this pig dude, who was a robot all along. Rusted to the point of being still, they interrogate him and find out that the Freedom Emeralds are now in the hands of Dr. Robotnik, which equals bad. He also initiates a self-destruct, but thankfully he is thrown off screen, tragically killing our hero in the process. No, he's totally fine. He just kind of walks back in through the doorway and interrupts Sally, almost confessing her feelings for him. In a diagram, Sonic shows that he just sent the robotic clone up through the winding entrance and escaped scot-free. Wait, isn't there a whole village up there? I mean, I know the comics haven't elaborated on it yet, and the Freedom Fighters' hideout has only been shown to be a series of caves, but holy crap, Sonic, you just accidentally blew up someone. To make sure Mobius is not doomed by Dr. Robotnik acquiring the rubber balls of destiny, Sonic and Antoine are forced to put aside their differences and team up, with Antoine powering a hot air balloon by talking into it, okay? The heroes approach the evil scientist's blimp and are attacked by flying robots, but thankfully Sonic utilizes the power of his homing attack. A reminder, this comic predates Sonic Adventure by 5 years, and our heroes find one of the Freedom Emeralds from the remains of a SWAT-bot. Also, quick note, I love how the SWAT-bot is still in a sitting position and is speaking in flight announcer jargon. That's pretty funny. The bot reveals that the Doc's plan is to scatter the Freedom Emeralds, supposedly so the magic won't get in the way of him making the whole world mechanical? That's the best reason I can think of why the story rolls around these things, because they're green precious shiny things, gotta find them all so Robotnik doesn't mess up everything. As Sonic and his friends collect the other 3 gems, coming across the Mad Doctor's other badniks from Sonic 1, but also off-coloured, and Sonic is able to burrow through the planet's surface and reunite with the other Freedom Fighters to complete the crown with its stupid accessories. The Crown of Acorns is restored, giving the heroes hope to one day use it to defeat Dr. Robotnik, but spoiler alert, it disappears after this issue and does not physically make an appearance until much later. Nonetheless, it's a victory for the heroes and... oh wait, Robotnik's here! The last page has the villain registering a complaint that, despite being the main foe, he only had a small appearance in the story overall. He even shows off his diploma and rambles that the next time he will take no prisoners. I guess we have to read the next issue to find out. The story in this issue was better than the last ones. It's here where this series starts to look less like a newspaper comic strip and more like the Set AM cartoon. Though the stuff about the Crown of Acorns and the Freedom Emeralds, it's all grand and all, but ultimately dropped from the story in the long run. Also, consider the awkward introduction of the universe's mythology as a sign of things to come. This isn't the first time we're going to see convoluted relics, Acorn related or otherwise. Also worth noting, this is the first time the comics have stuck with one whole story instead of splitting it into two unrelated ones. The characters have more traits from the original cartoon, such as Sonic and Sally's hidden but blatantly obvious affection for each other, and Sonic's coolness clashing with Antoine's snooty personality. The badniks are also more prominent than before. While they're still basically cannon fodder, some of them prove to be ample threats in their own right, such as the Burrowbot and the returning Jaws. With the story's focus on more serious tones akin to that of the cartoon, regardless of the amount of silliness and slapstick humour, I think it's commendable. I'm giving the story a 4 out of 5. It's a step in the right direction. The art is of the same quality, even with Dave Manak on pencils this time. It's all cartoony and all over the place physically, but it's still nice to look at, even if sometimes the characters can be slightly off model. The colouring is on point too. Sometimes the characters have word bubbles of a specific colour to stand out more. That's not to say the backgrounds aren't good enough on themselves, they're just of the same quality as the last issues. Like before, I'm giving the art a 2 out of 5. Yep, there's still some extra pages here of random jokes. One page has so many jabs at other comics in the industry. Gallagher takes the opportunity to reference X-Men, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and says they don't need no guest stars to boost sales numbers. Though I must point out this panel is pretty funny. On the next page they even bring up that Sonic Adventures is going to be a major blockbuster. Did they know what was going to happen in 2009? These pages are neat, but nothing worth adding another point over. Okay, so that leaves issue number 2 with a final score of 6 out of 10. Better than the last issue, but still cut from the same cloth, so to speak. That's all very good, but let's take a look at the last of the original Sonic Miniseries, issue number 3. This cover is an improvement over the last one. It's much more animated and colourful, and is also the same image used in the subscriptions page. I guess they ran out of ideas at this point. The beginning of number 3 starts with the blue hedgehog on the ropes, dealing with an army of badniks and Dr. Robotnik in his classic pod, checker-wrecker ball and all. All this commotion gives Sonic a game over and he goes into a daze. Prepare yourself for some wacky non-canon hijinks, everybody. So, in a flashback before Dr. Robotnik took over, Sonic was raised by Uncle Chuck, a humble homeowner who cleans magic rings all day. Our young hero lives with Uncle Chuck's other adoptive child, Dr. Robotnik. Am I high? Even at their young age, these two characters got into fights, bickered with each other, and Baby Botnik even managed to make robot toys to do his bidding. The pair's bickering gets Robotnik injured, but he's easily cured by the power of the magic rings. Wishing to get revenge for Sonic earning more love from Uncle, despite his quick thinking being what saved him, Dr. Robotnik swears revenge. This leads to an incident involving the house's appliances and Robotnik's technical skills, but thankfully the young hero is there to save the day in this bizarre, completely imaginary story. Story 2 involves Boomer helping the freedom fighters infiltrate Robotnik's lair with a spooky mask. It is apparently enough to fool Sonic and send him into a shock. Damn dude, cut him some slack, he lost his family to robots. In the middle of the Great Forest, Tails mistakes his body for a robot when he chases Sally. Tails saves her, which gives them a confidence boost and encourages him to sell newspapers about himself and how heroic he is. I'm all for physical jokes, but... What? This was apparently all part of the plan, as Sonic is able to sneak into Robotropolis while Robotnik reads the news headlines. He tells everyone he just roboticizes himself in one of Robotnik's hidden robot makers. Yeah, even Robotnik catches on to that. The Blue Blur seems to get around this though and is able to find his... hypnotized uncle. Odd how they got it right with his now mecha dog Mutsky, but forgot to make Uncle Chuck look like a robot too. After being chased away following a failed rescue attempt, the Blue Blur decides to leave the city for safety, but not before putting in coordinates in the Big Bad's computer to blow up his bomb factory. Whew. Yeah, this issue's story is freaking sucked. Unlike last time, we did not get to see much character, nor any of the interactions except for imaginary Sonic and Robotnik. We did get to see our hero find Uncle Chuck and try to get him and his dog to snap out of their hypnotized state, but it was all for naught and all it really did was make the story go on longer. For the story, I'm going to give number 3 of the original Sonic miniseries a 1 out of 5. The art is the same deal. Dave Manick is allowed to make the scenes as frantic as possible, but he really isn't given much to deal with. The characters are so limited in this issue, and the backgrounds are either a plain industrial backdrop or a field that uses the same colours throughout. While Sonic's still fast and making witty remarks, he wears a robot mask for a third of the issue, robbing it a lot of the physical humour the miniseries has ran with so far. There wasn't even much action involving our cast of characters, leading me to think that they were just cutting corners at this point. While it is lacking, it's still on par with art from the past issues, so I'm giving it the average score of a 2 out of 5. Final score for number 3? Sweet Jesus, a 3 out of 10. And with that, that's the entire original Sonic Miniseries by Archie Comics. Yeah, there weren't any extra bits to notice because, well, this last issue didn't feature enough content to analyse, honestly. It didn't even have any of the extra pages filled with random humour this time. An average start to the longest running licensed comic book, but at the very least, its popularity encouraged the publishers to start making the mainline Sonic comics, which I'm certainly happy for. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next time where I tackle the true beginning of the Sonic comics in issue number 1.